I'm Dennis, I'm here with Amy. We're at SESI with Richard Millwood.
Can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm an interesting kind of old fella who was a teacher in school back in 1976 and then spent most of my life making educational resources and creating courses for children, for adults, for university, for school. And in the last few years I've been here in Ireland working at Trinity College Dublin, first of all to run the course, a Masters in Technology and Learning, and then more recently I've been working with SESI to create a community of practice of teachers around Ireland concerned with computational thinking and computing. So,
we spoke earlier about mental models in Ireland to computational thinking. Can you tell us what you mean by mental models and what they can be used for?
Yeah. So it's very interesting to ask the question, what goes on in the mind when people learn things? And I divide learning up into several different things. One of them is facts. Like, you know that the first letter of the alphabet is A. There isn't any dispute about that. It's not very clever. It's just remembering one thing fits. So there are lots of those kinds of facts to remember. But then there's something more advanced to remember, which is how things work. And a mental model is a kind of way of representing inside your head how something works and being able to predict how something's going to work under certain conditions, and also how to explain what did happen when it's already happened through that mental model as a way of explaining it. So a mental model is composed of lots of bits and pieces in your head. There's no clarity in my mind about exactly how they're made or what they look like or any of that kind of thing. What I do know is that people use them to do this explanation and prediction act.
The discussion around computer science has broadened from coding to the wider understanding of computational thinking. How do they differ?
Yeah, so you want me to answer that one here? Yeah. So in computer science, we're talking about a subject matter, a discipline. It means that there's a long list of different ideas that you have to learn about and skills and knowledge that you have to develop, and including mental models of how computers work. Okay? For me, computational thinking is a broader kind of idea, not so much concerned with the discipline or the subject matter, but concerned with the way in which people solve problems and how they design solutions. How do they make the things that will come about? And if they use their knowledge of computer science in the process of designing and solving those problems, then I think they're exercising computational thinking.
You are facilitating a number of SESI CS community practice workshops. What is the purpose of these workshops?
So the workshops are to bring the teachers together in Ireland who at every level are facing new challenges about computing. So the primary teachers are busy trying to make sense of coding and programming and to some extent computer science in primary schools. There's a project that the NCCA is running now to develop that work. At the junior cycle level, there's a short course in coding, which actually I think is a computer science course, and that's being developed. The teachers are being trained now. And then finally, there's the Leaving Certificate in Computer Science, which has been introduced this last September in a pilot project and will eventually roll out to all schools in Ireland who can do it, who want to do it. Now, I think this means that teachers at every level are being faced with the challenge of how do we do this? You know, are we the people to do it even? And I'm enjoying going around making these meetings in education centres. We collaborate, SESI collaborates with the Association of Teacher Education Centres around Ireland. So I go around to these places and bring these people together and give them a chance to think about what it means in practice for their teaching in the future. What does it mean for themselves as people? Are they to become computer scientists themselves, to have expertise enough to teach it? And I think they need that chance to come together and to talk to people from other levels. So they're not just talking primary to primary, but primary to secondary, and secondary to third level, and so on. So that we begin to build a proper picture of what this new computing subject, as it's being developed now, should be for a child learning all the way through, rather than simply taking it in isolation in separate pieces. And that's the work I'm doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.